Okay. In theory. Oh, y'all can still hear me. Hi. Welcome in on Tuesday night. Sorry for the little bit of a delay. I was just working on getting my race video that needs to go live tomorrow. Was getting that all set up. is this lagging? I can't type. Great. Fantastic. Ooh, giant boats. Okay, cool. Hi, welcome in. I am hearing my own voice. Why am I hearing my own voice? I need to mute that. There we go. Too many things going on. Okay, so we're gonna switch over to this view. I got a shipment of thread in, so I now have the thread I need to finish the bar top. As I try not to choke on M&M shards. And I was working on I designed my idea. So I try and get things untangled here on how to get my for the floors and the walls, my little modular like join segment. So this is me working on that, and once I finish this section of thread, I actually got more yarn. Thread. This is thread. I use thread for this project. Once I finish this thread, got the thread to finish, so I can finish up the floor panel, finish going all the way around the edges like I had been working on. And then I will go back to working on my little join connector. I think that's what I'm going with, the connector. Here, I'll move it a little closer so y'all can kind of see what I'm working on. This isn't anything, this is going to be a test of trying to see how how well I can aim and get things in the correct hole, and if I can plan things out correctly. So this is me kind of figuring out what I'm doing, or at the very least guessing what I'm doing. Where I was last minute doing the editing from this weekend at the track, so I'm still like completely drained. But the car is still in one piece, and that's really all that matters. Now I don't have to think about that until Saturday again, but we won't have to get up super early. But if you're on Long Island, you're looking to do something on your Saturday night, Riverhead Raceway is having our scout night. A bunch of troops are gonna come hang out. You get to go onto the track. I was in Girl Scouts way back in the day. That didn't last very long. But we have a bunch of troops from all over the island. That's where I'll be on Saturday. But luckily I don't have Sunday. But more importantly is seeing if I can convince everybody to celebrate my birthday on Saturday at the track. Because my birthday is on Friday. I will be streaming. Because I want to hang out with my internet friends. And it's my birthday and I can do what I want to. for this section, I'm doing just a basic sort of like sturdy looking stitch. I think technically this is called continental stitch. I don't know. I'm making this up as I go. Oh. But I swear all this like brain that we've had is collecting all of the possible pollen that exists and bringing it to the worst possible locations. Because I had like a combination of sinus headache from allergies and potential threat of a migraine. Let me tell you, that is not fun to deal with when you work in a factory and have to deal with, multi-ton presses, multiple multi-ton presses. But that is the way of things. So I finished that. I have my needle free. I am going to work on finishing this nice edging that I have. You can see the two kind of where this is edged and this is not. Just makes it look a little cleaner. It'll make it sit a little nicer. Again, in theory. This is all in theory as I basically completely make all of this up as I go. We're gonna, to keep it more controlled, just doing two like arm lengths, roughly, like stretch out the arm to my opposite shoulder. Don't take what I say as gospel because I'm making up most of it. I think this is the direction I was working in. If it wasn't, it is now. Don't. This is what happens when I'm jumping between multiple mini projects, is I forget what rhythm I had going. Hello, can we cooperate, please? There we go. Now at least that's secure. We are going to attempt to prevent knots from happening. But who knows how successful we'll be with that. Right away, we're failing. Untwist my thread already. Oh, wolves. Come back here. Great. Fantastic. And what? How? Somehow I managed to pierce the thread. Hello! Hello, Shatter. How is it going? I'm good. I'm good. I got a new shipment of the thread that I'm using for all of this, so I can finally finish up my floor. At least one section of the floor. So you haven't been here before, so let me put this down quickly and show off everything that I've been working on very carefully. So here is the start of the bar. We got, these little characters that are completely posable, that are all crocheted. This is the bar owner. She knows things. She's sitting here being sassy at the bar. We have the character Kazul, who's one of the main characters. This was the character that I played in the LARP. And then you have the scholar Vero chilling back here in his chair, who's the other main character. So, and then we got, the set pieces. We have the chair, we have tables, we got the bar stools. And I'm basing these off of I found some plastic canvas patterns, but and then obviously we have the fancy floor that'll go underneath all of this. It's because we'll dive bombs off of the bar. You're not that drunk, because we'll calm down. So that is what I'm working on, because I wanted to tell the story that I have been working on in the world I've been building, but in a different way. So, and then, yeah, this is going to be the floor. And this is all one color. I love the fact that this pattern makes it look like it's two separate colors. So I'll have that going on. And then I have some, I'm going to create corners that I can, this is part of it, that this will kind of be able to clip into. Because I'm going to need 4 of these floor panels to make the whole area of the tavern. If I want to do a whole scene of oh yes, let me just pan across the whole tavern. So it's a work in progress, because I have been sort of making this up as I go along. But because I'm making these smaller palette, there's a word. The word escapes me right now. But because I'm making these smaller segments, panels, that's the word, panels, I could then use this to, I could reuse it in a different room, a different setup with different wall panels to put it in. Plus, then I can store it flat, and I don't have this shoebox diorama that I need a whole another garage. Hey, base, I'm doing good. How about you? But the whole point is that this is the whole modular set, so I can reuse bits and pieces in other scenes, without having to have things permanently assembled. And I still have I have a whole list of characters I still have to make. But I have the 3 main ones, so I can at least start the at least the intro scenes, because it's I call it stop motion animation, but it's not going to be true stop motion animation. It's going to be the kind of slideshow stop motion animation. Base, I am so sorry to hear that. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help, even if it's just being an ear to listen to. I hope whatever you're dealing with gets resolved quickly and simply. And have you tried setting it on fire? But at the very least, is it IRL or digital? Because if it's digital, I can, I can help easier. If it's IRL, I can offer emotional support. Okay. So, what I always do when I have issues, when something isn't quite working the way I want it to, I will save my progress, close it out, go do something completely unrelated, and then, come back in like an hour and then try and look at it again. Even if oh, I'm one variable away from figuring it out. I don't care. Save it, close it, and figure out your next 5 stripper names or something. But focus your mind on something completely different, and then all of a sudden you'll be like, oh, that's what I was trying to do. At least that's what's worked for me in the past. And then, of course, there's always the, go back to basics. There's no use in reinventing the wheel and whatever life advice my parents want to spew at me. Every time I look at the pattern on this, it makes me think of a chessboard, and I kind of like want to make an actual like plastic canvas chess set, or like plastic canvas board with either crocheted chess pieces or something else. Yeah, and it definitely it gives that illusion of the chessboard, but it's all the same color, and it's just the way, because it's a shiny thread. It's when it's all going this way, because you can see they're just angled the 2 different directions, which gives that illusion. Yeah, crochet chess pieces. I mean, like I've done like stuffed animals before, so the chess pieces aren't completely like out of the realm of possibility. I haven't seen Acolyte, so I can't offer an opinion, but maybe he, you know, is technically Korean but grew up in Japan. Maybe they just wanted him to sound extra exotic. I'll be completely transparent. I don't watch a lot of movies, so even TV shows, I'm more likely to throw on like YouTube or Twitch or something and have, I don't know, true crime nonsense going on in the background, which is probably why I get some strange looks from my coworkers when they ask me what I'm watching. But it's fine. No need for them to know I'm getting ideas of what not to do. Whoa. Oh, hello. Thank you for the follow. The alert noises are very loud in my headphones, so every single time something like that happens, I will do the whoa, what? Oh, thank you. Thank you for the follow. Hi. Welcome in. Welcome in. If you have any questions, let me know. Base will be in the chat providing philosophical questions to make you question existence. Is that philosophical or existential? Or to be existential, is that philosophical? So to recap for anybody who just got here, I am working currently on finishing up the floor panel, the edging of this floor panel. I am doing great. I am really excited on how my project is working out. So this, I will move this over again so y'all can see what's going on. This is the bar. I'm working on the floor for said bar. And this is going to be a slideshow stop motion animation of a medieval fantasy story based off of the LARP I used to participate in. So I am like teaching myself how to do the fancy plastic canvas stuff as I go along, which is what all of these sets are made out of. The actors, so to say, these are all crocheted. Here, I will move this back over so we have better lighting. So these are all little micro crocheted dolls that have like pipe cleaners in the arms, so they're all completely posable. People do talk about it, but it's all because, hey, why didn't I get to go on my Pokemon journey when I was 10? Where's the local professor here to be like, ah, yes, are you a boy or a girl? Which of these three starters do you want? Oh yeah, there are definitely some people who go way too in depth into Pokemon. Now, granted, I'm probably one of them, but I think it's more of just that acknowledgement of like, you know. Well, okay, first of all, base. It's not really your job to lose. It also depends on if you go based off of the anime logic or the game logic. Because obviously the games is okay, here are the mini bosses before you can move on to the next area. But in the anime or even in the world's general it'd be, oh, here's like these measuring sticks that I can use. The first stream that Bay showed up to, we were debating what type of pasta people related to. This is nothing. I have my Game Boy Color, I have my Game Boy Advance, I have a Game Boy SP, I have all of the Pokemon games. I believe canonically they are actually eating certain Pokemon. Either that or it's all like they look like they're eating meat, but it's like that like meat substitute. Oh, come on, a Miltank or a Tauros? Hello, Bison? At this point, I'm pretty sure there is some sort of tofu Pokemon. I don't know. I really don't know if Snorlax would actually be all that much like actual edible food or if it'd be mostly fat. Because it has to eat a ridiculous amount to like sustain itself. But you also have a Pokemon that is a literal apple and an ice cream cone. In today's day and age, I'm sure you could. You could identify as an apple. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's what like all those Apple fanboys do. But it's not like an apple themed Pokemon. It is just, it's an apple that somehow evolves into a dragon. Yeah, those Apple fanboys who are diehard iPhone fans. I think a Jigglypuff is full of hot air. It'd be disappointing. But you could keep the yes, I very quickly switched to both type of apples. And listen, there's nothing wrong with being temporary vampires. Trying to keep the thread untwisted. Yeah, the readjusting or readjusting a sleep schedule is always like the worst, like of everything. So if you guys are interested, I have this RPG bot that happens in the chat. It's text based RPG thing, simple commands, but fun to keep. You know, collect resources, battle enemies. I know anytime I had to do like a weird like sleep schedule thing, I'd always be like, okay, well, I'm just gonna stay up stupid late like the day before to sort of force myself to be super tired so I could sleep. No, you're just that bad. Because you got to remember, you got to look at how much wolf fur you get. Because if you're just that bad at butchering everything, you end up somehow pulverizing the bones. I mean, I got 3 wolves, 3 bones, but 10 fur. I don't know. It depends on how we're defeating them. If we're like taking like just throwing bricks at them and squishing them completely, the bones clearly aren't useful. Yeah, I have to be a very specific temperature when I'm trying to sleep. Like right now, it's really miserable and rainy outside, but my AC is on just to keep it at a nice like 60 degrees. Because if I overheat, I am miserable. So, what is everybody's like ideal temperature? Because I know I would much prefer it be like, I don't know, 50s, 60s, so I can wear a hoodie and be comfortable if I want to burrow under like 15 blankets. Like, if you had your ideal, you know, that perfect climate controlled room. Yeah, yeah, no, I will occasionally have my air AC uh set to that because I'm a mature adult. Yeah. If I have to be no, it has to be an odd number. I'm also one of those people who the volume has to be at an odd number. Yeah, my not maybe not prime necessarily, because I mean my car is pretty old and like one of the speakers decides that it doesn't want to work half the time. But I'm like, okay, my volume either has to be at 27 or 33. If it's even, I have to click it again. Mostly because it really annoys a lot of people if the volume is not at like either a multiple of 5 or an even number. And I'm just evil like that. And while prime is usually a good like starting position, I can't be bothered to memorize all of my prime number. Well, I'm certainly an odd person. I could say that without any hesitation. But that's what makes life interesting. Yeah, 6 is not really a number that you hear about causing problems for people very often. Are there reasons for these number exclusives? Or is it just a matter of, no reason in particular, just not that one? Aha, aha. You funny. No, that I can understand for like six, just in general of I do get that. I always see everybody having such fun emotes. I haven't gotten a chance to actually make mine yet, but I was drawing some sketches for my emotes. Let me let me show these off. So these were two ideas I had for emotes. Oh, thank you for the follow. But yeah, so these are I'm gonna use the dragon that's the same as my profile picture. Hello. So I figured, we have everyone needs to have like the heart, and then obviously somebody just saying hi. And then I want to do like a raid that's like the dragon kind of like swooping in. But I have those, so I gotta actually work on doing the line art and remember where I put my drawing tablet. I think it's somewhere around here. If not, I'm just gonna color them by hand and scan them. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm only 3 away. Oh yeah, and these are at least these first couple ones are definitely going to be obviously like the free emotes. But I'm like, I get so jealous. Everybody has these like personalized emotes, and I'm like, I want them. I just have to, yeah, dig out my drawing tablet, which I think is somewhere in the mess down there. Hey, I try to keep it interesting. I know, watching me stab a piece of plastic all over and over is not the most interesting thing, but at least I can be a conversationalist. Thank you. I'm like, I am always super like critical of my own drawings, but I worked. I like to think I worked, hard enough on these that they'll be cute, and at the very least not overly detailed, so they'll still look good. So, Mr. Nothing, on the RPG Bot website, you can use coins in one of the stores to actually buy the bag of salt. If you didn't, the website has a whole lot of extra little like features that you can use to help advance in the RPG. I figured out that that was one of the items available somewhat recently. Let's see if I have that page open, because then I can just send you. I could just link it. Where is my mouse there? That is in one of these stores. The store, the item shop. I mean, ideally, but there are a whole lot of like just the items just aren't tradable for whatever reason. This is these are not battle items. It's in one of these pages. It's in one of those stores. And if you do RPG daily, you can get you get free coins. So I blame Mike for having this bot in his chat, and then I got the link to the guide and pretty much read the whole website trying to figure out, oh, okay, what can I do here? What can I do there? So, what type of painting are we talking about? Like painting a room, painting a house, or like teeny tiny like miniature painting? Because I know I actually painted my room however many years ago I redid it. But then when I was trying to help dad paint the race car and was trying to use spray paint, it did not go well. I do not have the patience to properly spray paint. Gotcha. Okay. Well, congratulations on the house. That's a big deal. Um, make sure to air out the rooms so you don't breathe in all of the paint fumes. Because let me tell you, Dad likes to spray paint or brake clean with the garage door closed, and then I walk in there and I'm like, "Whoa! I thought we wanted to breathe in here." But we also actually just recently got some prototype merchandise for the race car. Uh, so one of my friends from the racetrack designed the card, but I put it on a hoodie. So now I have a hoodie with my race car on it. My dad's an auto mechanic. He breathes in enough like car fumes at work. So that is, and it's a really nice hoodie. So that's what I do on the weekends now that race season has started. I run the yes, I do. I own the car my dad drives, but we've been doing it for, this is our fifth full season. We actually have a YouTube channel that we put all the I just finished editing a video actually from opening night, which was this past weekend. That's a Stats Auto Garage. No, absolutely. Thank you for stopping by and thank you for the follow. You got me to only 3 people away now. Good luck with your house. Here, let me. if I can type that correctly. No, I can't. Okay. I don't know how to type, apparently. There we go. Oh, it's an at sign. So that is the YouTube channel that I post the videos from the racetrack. If you wanted to see some on-track Legends racing action. So much appreciated. That's what, you know, me and Dad do on the weekends. And this was the first race we've done since Dad got wrecked really bad last year. The final race of the season, he got like wiped out. And the car got sent airborne and went backwards into the outside wall. He's fine, but it was definitely one of those, you know, okay, well, that's not very good. But he's good. That car was junk, but now we've rebuilt our coupe. But yeah, so I keep busy with a multitude of different things because when I'm out at the racetrack, I am in what I call mission control. I run the replay, so anytime I do the graphics and the replay for the live stream of the races. So it's always a fun way to keep busy. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, I don't have much of the hands-on experience, so I just like to say I'm executive producer of this nonsense. But Dad likes to remind me I did buy him the car, so it's kind of my fault. But, you know, it keeps us busy and gives me time to think and plot about my crafts. I am in the wrong window. That we're not gonna print Twitch. That's not how that works. There we go. Like looking in 5 different places at once and like I don't know where my mouse is. I don't know where my which box I have selected. It's okay. I just make things up as I go. That is what I've always done, and I always tend to wing it. It's like even going back to grade school when oh we have the presentations for projects. Everybody's I need to have my note cards. I need to have everything written out. No, no, no. If there's a point that I need to make sure that I have, I'll like write down that. But I always would just wing it, fly by the seat of my pants, and Still do better than most of the other people in the class. It keeps life more entertaining. I need to finish the so I need to finish off the bar. I still have some edges I need to finish on that. I need to make 3 more of these floor panels. Once I have like most of the bar and then I make all the NPCs, like it's still probably like a month out at a minimum before I start shooting any of the like pictures for the whole slideshow. Then I got to do like, you know, the voices, the um decide if I want to put like background music in. So it's definitely not an immediate thing. Plus, I only recently started. I only started making the set like I don't know, less than like maybe a week or two ago. I'm hoping. I have an idea of how I want it in my head, and the hardest part is always getting what's in my head out into the physical world so other people can see it. But I'm definitely using like, you know, whatever resources I have available. Like these are like miniatures. I have the little bowl and the little spoon that I got from the craft store. The weapons I make at the laser I use at work. Yeah, and that's what I hope to do with like the streams. And then once I manage to hit affiliate, I'd love to have like as one of like the sub rewards or like the one of the really high point channel point rewards is you can design an NPC that will be in the background of the stop motion. So chat can get involved with the process or the whole story. So, because I know when I was talking with MP3 last night, Monday night, I don't know. One of the times I was sleep deprived, uh, and like he was talking about he wanted to do some art, so I can have people. Oh, you want to put like a little, you know, 1 by 2 inch art piece, and I'll hang that in the background of the set, just to get the community involved. Because it's definitely going to be like I am creative. Obviously, you can see what I'm creating, but at a certain point, I'm like, okay, I get the analysis paralysis where I'm trying to figure out, do I want, you know, like, okay, what do I want the background person? Like, I need to create 3 bandits. I need a female and 2 males. Okay, now I got to figure out what outfit they're wearing. I got to figure out what their skin color is, what the weapon they're using, what hairstyle. So I'll sit there and I'll be like, okay, I can't think of what colors I want or what color schemes. Especially since it's fantasy, it doesn't have to be like true to history because that's boring. But and like I haven't looked into how like sub rewards work, but one of the things I'd like to do, like I know there's like tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. Is like one of the levels, okay, you can design an outfit for one of the NPCs. As I'm choking on air, hold on. Like tier 2 would be have the character show up multiple times in the background. And then tier 3 would be actually have like voice lines that you can add for your character. Because this whole thing started as a LARP. So might as well let other people have that opportunity to get into character. So once I get to that point, I will start actually being like, okay, what do you guys think? How much, how many points should this redeem be? Or help me name a character. Help me name, or help pick a color for a background set piece. And then I'll stream like when I'm doing the dialogue for all the characters and voicing everything, because I like voice acting. I just have not done any sort of real uh voice acting projects. I have thought about it. I know at one point there was like um at least I remember hearing about or reading about some sort of controversy with them, and then I never really looked further into it. But that was the other thing that I was thinking, is that I could have those sort of rewards as the different tier patrons. Which, since the final slideshow project will be going on YouTube, then it would make sense to have that sort of like, oh, okay, each little mini episode, here's the patrons that helped make it happen. I think once I get to the point where like I have at least the tavern completely built and I'm starting to film different scenes, maybe I'll look into that some more. Or at the very least, like once I have like the first episode, because this is a lot of the story is written already, because this is based off a book I was attempting to write, and then I got distracted and haven't written any more. Although I think I have like the start of the next chapter, but like each chapter could be an episode, so they might only be like 5-minute videos, but it's a lot of pictures. Yeah, because I mean, like I have somewhere in my pile of things. I know I have this. Where is this notebook? Here we go. Like, I have the notebook. I have the pen in the notebook that I was writing. Okay, I have like 3 pages of the next chapter written. So it's more of just I have to keep that notebook with me and then be able to jot things down. And it's like, I know where I want the story to go. I know where uh oh yeah, it's I use OneNote. This way my iPad, my phone, my laptop, they're all connected, so I can, if I have like ideas, and that's what I was using for like the world building. This way everything's located and it's all synced between all of my devices. It's more of the, hey, I got the Microsoft family plan, and I was like, great, fantastic, this actually makes my life easier. I use it for some of my patterns too, because it's like, oh, I can't be bothered to log into like Google Drive on everything. I finished a lot of this section with this string. So I just need to cut one more piece of string and I should be able to finish off this floor panel. That'll probably be more than enough. Get the needle threaded. Then we get to join it. Now we just have to fight with it for a little bit while we get this end secured so I don't pull it straight out, because that can and will happen and has. This is a lot easier when I'm working just with the like basic stitch. It's a little bit easier to control the where the ends go, where the thread wraps around. But it's okay. The beauty of making it up as we go along. And then I'm probably also going to have to run to the craft store tomorrow because I thought I ordered like everything that I possibly need, and of course I didn't. I realized there was some colors. Thank you so much. Because I'm like, I want everything to be like a slightly different color. I don't want everything to just be the same shade. Because even, you know, if you buy like a table, it's not entirely the same. So what I'm trying to do is any if it's the same type of chair, it'll be the same color. But the dining chair is a slightly different shade. Like the top of it's the same, but the legs are a slightly different shade. It's close. It's a shade of brown, but it's just different enough to, you know, not be that monochrome palette. And then for the bar, it's a different shade, and it's great, and I appreciate you saying that. It just makes it really annoying because at most they stock like 10 of these at the craft store. They'll fill it with 10, and this alone took like 10. So it's definitely a okay, that's an order online. But once I at least, you know, figure out what colors I want, then I can more easily just be like, okay, here's the colors. This is how I want them. This is probably how many I'm going to need. And then I can just bulk order them. I mean, luckily the craft store is really close and it is somewhat on my way home from work. So I can always just swing by on the way home. It's just there are times when it's like, yeah, I don't want to stop. I just want to get home and not be in work mode anymore. Mom sending bowling scores. Ugh. Stop making all these pop-ups. Let me just get the dailies. Ugh. So we are almost done. I have this corner to here. Hold on, let me make sure I'm in the frame. And then this floor panel will be completely done. And then I am gonna go work on the bar. Because I gotta manhandle the bar a little bit to see what else I need to add to it. Which means I have to very carefully move the bartender before she judges me. Because in the lore of the world that I'm building, which is the continent is Jaspia. The smaller country, you have Trosia, and then you have Gigith. And then there's a whole bunch of like territories within that. So it's in that world. Magic is a sort of limited resource in the fact of not everybody is willing to admit that they can do it, and not everybody can do it. But the bartender is. I haven't decided if she's full Fae or at least has Fae blood, which is different than Elf. Because the Fae just know things. Which is also why this bar acts as sort of the adventurer's hub. Because there are branches, or what appear to be branches, of the Brandy Bush, which is the name of the tavern, in every every town, you know, along the way. You're more likely than not going to be able to find a brandy bush. Except it's not just a brandy bush, it's the brandy bush. It is the same building, no matter which door you enter it from. Oh. Excuse me. Allergies. I've been building this world for a really long time at this point. Like, I have a map drawn of everything, at the very least, like the major towns, which should be again in my tower of drawers. Oh, nonsense that you can kind of maybe see in the back. No, those are the wrong drawers. What? Stop tying knots in yourself. What are you doing? That is not how you're supposed to cooperate. I like literally just saw the map. So this is the map of, at the very least, like the main sort of country, Trosia. Most of this story will take place, at least it starts up in Thanaloon. And I'm building this world. I'm trying to build this world with such detail that any story that I want to do will take place in this world because I'm building it so everything's kind of interconnected. At least that's the Grandmaster plan. Who knows how well that will actually work. But I have like, like notable cities. Where's the capital city for everything? What's their main resource in each little territory? Yeah, no problem. Thank you, Mr. Nothing. Thank you for coming out and hanging out. And I look forward to seeing you in the future. I don't want to take any sort of allergy meds now because that will knock me out. Not ready to go to sleep yet. Uh, in theory, I try and at least I have the like Christmas lights around my room, and they shut off at 11:15 during the week p.m. Whether or not I'm asleep by that point is another story. But I normally go like a stream for like 2.5 hours because I get up at 5:30 in the morning to go to work. So usually around this time, everything starts getting blurry again. Especially, so I work in a factory, and it's I work by a giant like roll up garage door, so I'm basically like outside. Not outside where I have to deal with the elements, but yeah. Yeah, no, luckily I live only 10 minutes away from my job. So I wake up at 5:30, I roll out of bed. Yeah, no, people at work just like to forget how to close the door. Like twice today I had to get up and go shut the door cuz they use the E switch instead of just hitting the stop button. It's one of those automatic like roll up, roll down things, and they just I don't know, men. Yeah, exactly. I work in the high bay area, and I have to deal with when that door opens. I am sitting directly in the path of that gust of wind that comes in, and it's like, no, thank you. I guess I'm not breathing today, anyways. That's fine. Yes, especially since I program and operate a sheet metal laser cutter, so that puts off an amount of dust. Then the welders are right next to me, so I get that scent. Then there are a couple of propane forklifts, so that mixes into everything. So I'm just like, okay, yeah, nope. I just didn't want to breathe anyways. That's fine. And again, since I operate heavy machinery, I'm like, the only allergy meds that actually help is the like store brand Benadryl or actual Benadryl, but I can only take one, which only lasts for a certain amount. Woohoo! Yay, killing rock slugs. Um, it used to, but I like that's why it usually is like a Benadryl and a monster. That's that if I have to be functional. Claritin doesn't do anything. None of that 24 hours. As you can see, I'm still drinking Monster. But now, when I back in college, I worked overnights at a gas station truck stop thing, and while I was going to school full time, I used to have like minimum 4 energy drinks a day and was still ready to pass out all the time. Now I usually will have, I have a monster first thing in the morning. One of my coworkers brings me a cup of coffee. I come home for lunch and grab a second monster. And that's usually all I have during the day. Maybe I'll have a soda. But if I'm streaming, I'll grab another monster if I need to. I have a very high caffeine tolerance, um, to the point where like coffee doesn't affect me. Now, if it's espresso, yeah, no, see that wouldn't do anything. When I worked at a snack counter, I used to be able to get free coffee, and let me tell you, that was the only drink I would have for the entire like shift. So, yeah, coffee is lifeblood, and if it is before noon and I have not had some sort of caffeine, don't talk to me. But after that, I can be a somewhat functional human being. No, I didn't really get into like no, I guess high school. My mom's a huge coffee drinker. Yeah. No, so I don't even remember when I started drinking coffee, but it was definitely one of those. I had it, and it's because my mom is a huge coffee drinker, so she would always have coffee. So it became the fine, I'll try it. And then I would have it once in a while. But then dad drinks the monsters and Mountain Dew. So I don't particularly care what my coffee tastes like as long as it is cool enough that I can chug it. So, I mean, I don't really go for any sort of fancy coffee, 7-Eleven. If I'm buying coffee, Dunkin's is my go-to. I'll get the like caramel macchiato if I'm getting an iced drink. If it's hot, I don't care. My coworker gives me like that instant coffee and I just dump the powdered creamer in it and some extra sugar. Well, that's not good. What I notice, if I get Dunkin' and I get either like half and half of the cream, that'll go right through me. So I usually get it with almond milk, and then I don't have that problem. Yeah, I like the Coffee Mate or the International Delight, that non-dairy creamer. I have been getting into tea though lately, mostly because I'm like there are sometimes I just like don't want coffee. Yeah, so with the Starbucks, okay, to me again, I'm not a coffee snob, so Starbucks is just overpriced for the same thing. I've been getting into tea because I'm not usually a huge tea drinker, but when I'm not feeling great, I have this like the herbal teas. Not loose leaf, unfortunately, but that's I don't know how to technically brew loose leaf tea. Uh, but it's this. The brand is Yogi. It's this elderberry and lemon balm. Uh, like stress and immune booster tea, and it's actually really good. I add a little bit of like creamer into that. I get it whatever like grocery store. That I actually tried Bigelow vanilla caramel black tea. That was pretty good. I had like one of those travel thermoses. I put two tea bags in there, threw a little bit of my almond milk vanilla creamer in there. 'Cause I've always been weird where I like milk in my tea, and apparently a lot of people don't. At least here. They look at me like I'm crazy. Okay. No, that does sound good. I know. Sometimes it's like I just want that flavored tea. Now I like iced tea. I'm a big like raspberry iced tea person. Or if I'm which I went down to Tennessee once, so I got on the sweet tea kick. So now if I have like real good sweet tea, which I know is just basically sugar, but I what I would actually do mint tea and half and half. It makes this like really soothing sort of, it's perfect for those cold days. I can't be bothered to use honey. It just seems like way too much of a problem, especially since most of the time the honey is like a pain to get out. But yeah, no, again, the Bigelow is the brand that I use for a lot of it, but that mint tea, uh, just with little bit, yeah. If I'm like actually sick, I have this lemon ginger that has like honey mixed into it, so that's the sort of tea that I will have. I have this like instant tea powder, so that's usually my go-to. It's yes, I am ill. Let's put that. Get that ginger just kicks it right out of you. So I have to add these supports to the back of the bar because right now this is all just kind of flapping in the wind. Yeah, and I can't be bothered with that either. I have, so I just bought my mom for her birthday like a fancy Keurig that also will do iced coffee. So I just have the K cups. I can't be bothered to actually figure out how to use a proper coffee pot. So that I need to add that over there. The problem is I'm out of this color. So this is the color for the bar front. I got more for the bar top, so at the very least I can finish this edge off. Yeah, no, if we're making a pot of coffee, I'll let my mom make that and I'll just drink half of it. So, and then at some point, because here, let me again dig out my reference sketch that is somewhere. Oh, is that? Oh, I don't have that book up here. That's still downstairs. I'm not getting it now. But so to give an idea of what this will look like, I think this is going to go this way. So that'll be all the colors together with the bar stool in front of it. So yeah, no, it's a good color combination. Not too much. But if this is the wall, this part of the bar will be right up against the outside wall. So I'm gonna move this way so I can point to things and you actually see what I'm pointing at. So this will be right up against the outside wall. The door will be over this way. This is the wall, and then this will be a wall back here, but there'll be a door to the kitchen. And there'll be the gate to get in and out of the bar on this side. So that'll be like right up against that wall. So that is at least the plan. So now that I have this done, let me, because I think this was, I wanted to put one here. Thank you. I am like super excited. Put one back here. I might not even need the one because I think I was also going to have one over here. don't think I need that one. I'll wait to do this one because I'll start over here because I still gotta. I ran out before I could finish actually attaching everything. So now we have this fun, awkward. Let me work on the bar without whacking it myself in the face with it. Uh, Needle. And then I'll probably do a couple of like crocheted barrels because you know how like the taverns you always have that like cask of wine that's behind the bar or a couple of casks. So I gotta do that. I'll use plastic canvas to make the stands, but the barrels I'll crochet. Because what good bar doesn't have barrels? I'm hoping that I'm hoping I can translate what's out in my head to get everybody to see the vision that I have, and I hope it meets your expectations. Because this is definitely a very ambitious project. Because it is just me working on all of this. But now that I'm part of the web community, uh, I at least have resources to ask for help if I need. I I definitely work better like when I have a deadline. I will procrastinate it till the very end, but I have that web community that I can be like, okay, I'm trying to figure out how to do this. What you know function in this program do I need to do? Because there are a lot of photographers who do a lot of like photo editing. So when I'm attaching all of this together, if I'm having issues, oh, I need to add this like glowing effect for a magic spell or something. What's the Is it better to do it this way or this way? So at least I have the resources. So that's definitely a nice thing. Yeah, it certainly helped me get a lot further on my journey here. And it's you're always going to obviously, no matter what medium you're working with, you're always going to have the pretentious snobby ones in everything. But sometimes it's like I know what I do is very like niche because how many people are making like whole worlds out of crochet. And I also in a similar medium but different style of doll, I have plans to make a RPG game using the same world, but sort of like a prequel to the story that I'm telling now. Uh, with like crochet, using the crocheted dolls as the sprites, because, I don't have enough on my plate to do. But I went to school for game design, so I feel like I need to make a game at some point. And again, like I have that the game is why I was like really going all in on building this world. And then I had the idea of, okay, well, I want to make the characters, I want to be able to push it. Oh, they absolutely are. I wouldn't have gone to school for 4 years to get a, degree in video game design if I didn't enjoy it. It's just there's the whole like extra component. So I'm trying to like make it easier on myself and use this way I don't have to reinvent the wheel. Like it's probably going to be based in RPG Maker just because I don't have the time to figure out all the programming. But I have it lets me, come up with extra things, but then it also lets me like actively show off my crafts, and it's almost like a living portfolio. Here, let me pull up the picture that I have of the characters. So these are like a Funko Pop style that will be like the game sprites. So you have the whole crew here. And actually, what I'm doing with the plastic canvas can also double, be assets for that game too. So like the floor panel can totally be a background for a room in the RPG, which is also why I wanted to do it modular like that. So I'm always trying to think of, it's not like shortcuts, but efficiencies. We'll go with that one. I think it's time to raid something again. Yeah, like shortcuts is not the right word. No, you're good. You're good. I have no problem if you're just chilling and lurking. That is totally fine. Listen, you have the tab open with my stream up. That is more than enough. I might actually take a break in a little bit just so I can, get up, stretch, and then maybe stream for like another hour later. Fair enough. Well, I appreciate that. It makes me feel special. Like if I'm at work, I'll have Twitch up on my phone if I'm not watching some true crime YouTube stuff. It does make it a little annoying to, want to check out multiple people at the same time, but they can deal with it. Let's untwist this. I gotta figure out if I want to do something like special on Friday, because that's my next scheduled stream. No, that's fair. If it's somebody who like I know I know they'll have me tabbed open and then they'll come raid my stream later, or I'll go raid their stream later. I'll leave them tabbed. I'll hang out for a little bit while I'm setting things up. But Friday, it's one of those. I know I'm gonna be later than I normally start because Friday's my birthday, and I'm gonna need to, have the whole birthday dinner with my parents. But then I gotta come hang out with my internet friends. Thank you so much. The crazy part though is like I keep forgetting that my birthday is on Friday. Like even last week I was like, oh, okay, yeah, we're almost done with April. Oh wait, hold on. Because it's always like, May birthdays are hard, especially since mine has a tendency to fall on or around Mother's Day, which, granted, is fine. I'm not taking anything away from mothers. I wouldn't be here without mom. But it's always been with the family celebration, it always gets lumped together. And I'm always just like, okay, well, like, I want to feel special. I want to have a day, but I'll get over it. Yeah. But again, it's always been that way. So it's never really been much of like oh, okay, we're going to do something completely special. Like last year, I went to Daytona and I did the Rockville Music Festival, which was cool. It was a lot of fun. But it's definitely like, listen, I drink to deal with most of you people. I'd like to have my birthday myself. Hey, Liko, thank you for the raid. How's everybody doing? Thank you for the follow. How's it going, guys? It's been a while. Oh, man. Hey, Aeon. Thank you, thank you. One more, guys. One more follow. If somebody has it in their heart, then I'll hit that. I'll hit the 50. I am finishing up the bar for my stop motion animation project. I just finished the floor for the bar. So, we're building the world. We're building the whole set so my characters can have a world that they hang out and they have crazy adventures. Thank you. Actually, that's how I know Lego because we LARPed together. So, based off of the Realms LARP, here is, Kazul the character. And this is, a slightly darker, grittier version of at least my character's backstory and a little subplot that happened. So in that world, it was in the realms, it was the tea tree. In my world, listen, don't ask questions, Lako. But Tria had the tea tree. Tiri, my version of Tria, this is Tiri. She has the brandy bush. And it's always the same brandy bush. And technically, I'm not crocheting. I am doing plastic canvas. If we want to be technical here. Okay, so I will spill a little bit of the tea because this will be a whole stop motion project where there will be, I do plan on doing the voice acting. So it is called Our Dark Pasts Draw Us Together. You have Kazul, a dragon trapped in human form by her parents. No, eat dinner, Lego. Thank you. And thank you for the raid. So we have Kazul's a dragon trapped in human form because her parents bound her after she got kicked out and went on a 500-year-long rampage. Then Vero has extra souls that sort of came to him. This is Vero. He's the scholar. He's always going around trying to, take notes and study the world. But yeah, he has extra souls that sort of came to him to protect him from various traumatic events that were very similar to how he would be going through an event, but these souls stepped in to protect him, to keep him innocent. They all have died in their own lives, but have come to protect Vero. Haven't really decided the why yet, but I was supposed to be adding the leg. So we're gonna go back over that. But yeah, basically I had a whole, actually, I think I should still have the summary. So I wrote a really nice summary for this thing. What tab is that open in? The real problem is remembering what window I have something up. Okay, here. Open. Then I can read you the proper summary that I had written when I was posting this on AO3 as an original story and decided, no, I'm going to crochet it. it'll be better that way. Okay, so here is that like back of the book blurb. Vero had a rough time growing up, and fate decided to make his life even more interesting with some remnants from his past. Kazul has been on the run for so long, she doesn't remember what it's like to feel safe or to feel comfortable in her own skin. When these two meet in a tavern one fall night, both of their lives will be changed forever. Will it be for better or for worse? So I like that whole, I'm like, I made it really dramatic. Let me be dramatic. But the whole thing is you know, it takes place in the Brandy Bush, and Tiri knows things because she's Fae. And the Fae just know. That's what I hope. I hope people get involved with this with the plot. And once I hit affiliate, I am going to have it set up so people can, if they're subbed or hit a certain amount of channel points, they can actually put characters into the story too. This way, hey, you can definitely be a keeper of the Fey Wilds. Because, Fey are different than elves. I know a lot of lore will link them together, but they're different. The Fey are tricksters. And, definitely have access to hidden lore and should way more, always know way more about what's going on around them. So, this is the Fae. The Fae will always have those golden eyes. Listen, not necessarily trickster so much, but manipulative of something. So yeah, every character that is Fae has those golden eyes. That is like one of the characteristics that they will have. You have dragons, when they're in human form, will have the slightly like cat-like pupil, as best I can do with these dolls, because embroidery is not really my thing when it comes to eyes. And then, so one of the characters was a literal star person. So for that, let me go get my other box. He's not done yet, but he is a literal star person, so he sparkles. So I still need to figure out what his whole outfit's going to be. But I definitely am gonna, need help and want the community to hang. Exactly. He literally has that line of like, I'm fabulous. And that his whole attitude is the I'm a star. No wings, because he's only a star, he's not a fairy. But he's definitely that sort of pretentious, but I'm a star. Like I know what I'm talking about. Who are you to talk against me? Mostly because even in the actual LARP, the first interaction that Kazul, the character, had with Orion, who's the star person, was a sword to the throat, being like, "Where did you get that dagger?" Excuse me, what? Mm-hmm. No, all good, Aeon. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you so much for hanging out. I very much appreciate you. All right, I'm fighting with adding the support leg to the back of the bar. It probably would have been easier if I had remembered to add it. Thank you. Plastic canvas is actually my newest skill, and I'm 100% making it up as I go along. Because I've been crocheting for, it'll be 22 years on Friday. Thank you so much for hanging out all stream shatter. I will catch you in the future. Thank you so much. Have a good night, Shatter. Baby crochet queen. I have done more knitting for babies. Um, but yeah, no, I've been crocheting for 22 years as of Friday, this coming Friday. Because I taught myself when I was 11, and I got the book and the hooks and the yarn for my birthday. Listen, if I'm working on any sort of like, crochet projects, anything, and you want a technique explained, you want a visual demonstration, you let me know and I will walk you through at the very least whatever my process is, because I know I do things differently than a lot of people. I'm right-handed, but I crochet left-handed, which is just one of those things that, that's how I taught myself. So I have absolutely zero problem with explaining any of that. At some point, I know I gotta post some more of my patterns, or actually at least like share some of my patterns. At least in between working on stuff for the craft fair that I'm planning on attending. Let's go here. And if you couldn't tell, I like RPGs. I have the bot in my chat. You can, resource gathering, little battles, keeps things fun. I definitely understand that. My it was actually last week was the anniversary of my grandpa's death, and my grandma is a seamstress, so she's still around. She's yes, being able to, get into whatever variation of nerd you want to do is always fantastic. Cute. Thank you. I'm gonna need to end up going to the craft store, not the craft fair, craft store tomorrow, because I need to get more of this color. Because I have one more. I need to actually make 3 total supports for the bar, and I didn't order any of this color when I ordered a bunch of stuff from like online, which I'm kind of disappointed with myself for that. Like I ordered everything else, but I didn't order that one color. Probably because I was just in the grays and the browns, and technically this one is a red. I don't know why, because, brown. These are similar enough, but this is brown, and this falls in the red category. Don't ask me to organize their thread anymore. But yeah, for the most part, this is we just chill, vibe out to some, lo-fi music in the background, and I attempt to translate the craziness in my head to the real world. Gotcha. Yeah, I actually bought myself like a rather large shed out in the backyard that is probably at least half full of yarn, just from all of my miscellaneous crafts. But even, it doesn't really matter how many years you've been doing something, there's always new skills, new patterns that you can pick up. I'm just doing my best. I'm just hanging out and expressing my creativity, and if people want to hang out and watch, I'm going to do it either way. I appreciate that. It's like I have in my Discord bio. I'm just an introvert waiting for an extrovert to come adopt me. Because I don't people very well. Which is why internet. uh, this is the open one. No, but I can fake it really well. But when I'm being extroverted, the voice jumps up an octave. Because that's the retail personality. When I can go, hi, how can I help you? And people who know me tend to, stop in their tracks and be like, huh? What? Don't worry about it. No, but the goal is to keep me away from most people, at least like during a normal work day. Mm-hmm. Yeah, once the social battery runs out, no, I'm done. That's when I will start setting things on fire or throwing things. That's why there are designated people at work to come talk to me, because they know how to diffuse the situation. But the streaming is definitely like helping. It's helping me get more comfortable, like reaching out and you know, uh, interacting with strangers, new internet friends. It helps. I found like a really great Discord community for, you know, streamers and any like all sorts of art forms. Yeah, no, see, if the people can't tolerate you when the people face isn't working, then you don't need them around you. That's when you just play the I'll be civil, but don't talk to me if you don't have to. That's why I flat out it's not even like I let the crazy show. I dial the crazy up a little bit. So if you can't handle me at what is presumably worse than normal, don't talk to me. And if you can't play nice for 5 seconds, oh yeah, and it also helps. Like, I have a little bit of like leeway at work, seeing as how I am my entire department, and no one, not a single person in the company can program the machine I run. So if I'm a little bit of a bitch, that ain't my problem. Grow a pair and get over it. Which, to be fair, I work with a bunch of men, so I kind of have to have a bit of an attitude to hold my ground with them. I work in a factory. I work in a sheet metal like manufacturing plant. So I program and operate a sheet metal laser cutter. Sheet metal. So I am quite literally on the floor where like, throwing sheet metal around. But but it does give me the opportunity to use some of the scraps to make things like this. So I keep busy. I also used some scrap to, make the teeny tiny weapons. And listen, somebody has to put the men in their place. It's not my fault I can do their job better than them. So I keep busy, and hell, I'll bring my crafts to work with me. And somebody will like walk up and be like, "What are you doing?" I'll be like, "I am stabbing plastic so I don't stab people. Would you like to continue to interrupt me, or can I go back to what I was doing?" One of the coworkers I actually get along with will regularly refer to me as psychopath. To be fair, he makes a comment and I don't have to actually answer him because he already knows what my response is going to be. And it usually is a little unhinged. But again, that's what happens. I've been in that job for going on 7 years in August. And I got hired at that place to do IT. I was hired to work in an office on computers. Tell me how I ended up down on the floor throwing sheet metal around. But no, it's the bosses at the time went, "Oh, uh that uses that runs a computer, right? You can do this." So I got told that the laser was going to be my problem. So I took it and ran with it. And now I'm basically the entire department because I have half an employee that will help me out during the night shift to like put the part, like to take care of the post production of the parts. But like, come on, guys. But it is what it is. And literally all day today, I was working on. So this is what I did at work today, because this is half of. This is going to be half of like a connector piece that I can slide the floor panel into, and it'll have another piece on the top that I can put the wall into, so I can have like a modular set just to make it nice and easy. So I can make, here's a floor panel, and then I can also use this to make a different room. So I was designing half of this floor. So like this will come up here, and there'll be another part that comes on top, so it'll look like a little clip. This is a one woman show that goes a little overboard and thrives off of caffeine. Caffeine, nicotine, and spite. That is what I live. Listen, if some film critic decides that my one woman madhouse is gonna, is worthy of going to a film festival, sure. I won't say no. Well, honestly, it's any of the like the Zero Ultra monsters, but the white one is the only one I can consistently get in the 12 pack when I go grocery shopping. But like the purple one and the yeah, it's the purple one and the green one are by far my favorite. But the at least the idea right now is, once I get the set built and start taking like the snapshot, the snapshot slideshow. English is hard. Oh yeah, no. If I was able to buy them by the pallet, because the problem, coffee doesn't affect me nearly as much as I need it to. And this is monster number 3 today. And I'm still ready to fall asleep. But so the goal with this is, I have the story, I have at least like I think 20 something chapters written, and I think each chapter is going to be an episode. That's fair. I won't actually use Snapchat. I tried at one point, and then I think I forgot my login, and then I just stopped because I didn't have anybody I was talking to on it. But the way that this animation project is going to be, it's a slideshow. So like snapshots of the pictures, not true stop motion, because that is way too much for one person to work on. So I'm at least trying to make my life a little easier with the not a true stop motion animation. No, and like Snapchat had its uses. Very nice. I attempted to do a comic and I don't have the patience to do the digital art like that. Like the extent of my like true digital art was my profile picture, and I'm debating whether I want to make my emotes digitally or actually color them properly in with like colored pencil, because this somewhere over here, these are the two sketch ideas I had for my emotes right now, but I still gotta, fine tune them a little bit, with the dragon being like the same one that's in the profile picture, who I also need to name at some point. But this is the extent of my sketching. No, that's fair. But this is what I was doing while I was working at the racetrack on Sunday. Yeah, I have a when I'm doing like traditional media, I have a very heavy hand, so all of my lines end up either super sketchy or super dark, and it gets really difficult to erase or like edit the pictures. But that's okay. Other people can do the traditional art. I'll sit here with my crafts, my yarn, my thread, all of that stuff. Add this next leg and at least get to the next spot that a leg gets attached, because I don't have the third leg ready. Oh no, goblins. Battle those goblins. I don't have a problem with bugs. I'm not gonna go out of my way and say like, oh man, they're my favorite. I like reptiles over bugs, but I'm not like, ew, bug, kill it. Unless it's in my monster, then we're gonna have issues. Yeah, I like snakes. I don't own any, um, mostly because I'm bad enough at taking care of myself. I'm not gonna put something under my care. But I like snakes. I like lizards. Ooh, noodles. Yes, absolutely. You can totally crochet little like top hats. I actually, my boss actually commissioned me to make some hats for his girlfriend's chickens. So there are a couple patterns on Ravelry for like chicken hats that would probably, be roughly the same size. Like there are definitely, it's not that I question the commission, because listen, I'll make it regardless. But it's, is that really necessary? Our neighbor has like a flock of chickens, so we get eggs all the time. Just go grab the noodle. No baby noodle? What am I caught on? So, yes, a trip to the craft store is going to be needed so I can finish the the bar that I got going on over here. Might have to add some extra support to these middle sections, or I can just pretend. I may need to add some extra strength, or add some just extra plastic canvas down underneath here to make it a little bit sturdier. And at that point, I'll probably just glue it together because it's all stitched up at this point. In hindsight, I should have used like two strands of, or two pieces of the plastic canvas to hold everything together, because that would have added just a little extra rigidity, made it a little bit more stable. But I definitely have a lot of, oh, you know what might actually work good to stabilize this a little bit? I'm sure I have some out in my craft shed somewhere, but like popsicle sticks just underneath. Basically flip this over, add some popsicle sticks underneath here. Not that you can see what I'm pointing at. Here. Add some popsicle sticks under here, just so it's not quite so flexible. This way it doesn't dip back here, and like when I try and put something on it, it doesn't look like it's about to fall back off the back of the bar. So, do I have my list of here? I don't. Of course I don't. Why would I be prepared like that? No, that list is sitting folded up on my pile of things downstairs. There's a lot of theoretical planning, and whether or not any of it actually happens the way it's intended is a completely different story. So, there's a whole lot of just making it up as I go. And it's mostly because when I go to the craft fair or the craft store supplies, English is hard, especially when I've been up for 18 hours, 16 hours. Math is hard too. But again, making it up as I go. Gotta respond to the mother's bowling scores. But when I need to pick up a bunch of different colors of embroidery floss and I don't know, I do need sleep. I'm aware I need sleep. I wake up at 5:30 in the morning to go to work. But streaming and crafting, at the very least, I want to finish the part that I can't bring with me to work because it's not going to fit in my bag. So I'm going to finish up this bar, and then I will plan on stopping at Michael's on the way home from work tomorrow to hopefully pick up more of this particular color, because that particular color I did not order. Because I can work on the connectors at work. I should probably work on some of the chairs. I gotta, can't have two chairs in a whole tavern. Doesn't quite work like that. It's not a music club where it's standing room only. And then what I should do, start figuring out how I want the walls. Oh yeah. No, I don't know, it could be considered a problem of, you know, so we all had group projects in school. We all know the pain of doing group projects, and there's always those like one or two people that didn't do any of it. So it always got to the point where I would always try and ask the teacher to just do the group project myself anyways, because I'd end up doing the work by myself, you know, rather than have to deal with people taking credit for my work. Be like, I'll just do it all myself. So I like to be in control of a lot of things, and it is very difficult for me to delegate, which I know that's not the point. Teamwork is for squares. I don't play well with others. I don't. The way I work with others is I threaten to throw things at them if they don't do what I tell them. It seems to work at my job. But even when I specifically would be like working with a group of like actual people that I know, we'd be doing like a side project. I'm like, okay, great, fine, I'll help. I don't want to be in charge. Tell me why I always end up in charge. I'm just like, come on, guys. I very specifically said I don't want to be in charge of this. How did I become executive director of this nonsense? But I like to like pick up new skills. So I do enjoy learning things. Find one more person to give me a follow, because then I'll hit that 50 follower thing, and then we can do this for fun and profit. Just keeping me company, just hanging out. That is more than you have, more than enough. I'm like, recently I've been hitting that the nice minimum of three viewers at a time, and I just need to hit that, because this would be an epic birthday gift. If I can somehow hit affiliate by Friday, that would be amazing. I only started streaming at like the end of March, and I got super lucky and I found this Discord, this like a Discord that is all about like artisans, like people who do traditional art, people who do gaming, photography, all of that. And it's this whole community that they're always putting, like they'll always go around and raid groups. So yeah, I can imagine trying to, you just got to type one-handed or teach the snake to type. Wouldn't that be a neat trick? But no, I got super lucky, and really early on, my now friend Base uh, invited me to join his uh, web creative community, whatever it's actually called. Let me find out what the proper name of this thing is. The web creative community. Um, so it's basically like a hive of a bunch of artists who will follow each other's streams. I did, and it's one of those things of I'm just part of the community there. I'm not part of like the team who actively recruits new members, but if there's a fellow artist who wants recruits, who wants to join, I can totally send an invite, because it's super supportive. People will, it's a place to show off your work. And it's one of those, I got way farther in this whole streaming journey than I was expecting to be at this point. I was expecting to still be at like 2 followers, and maybe once in a while somebody would drop in for like 5 minutes. Instead, I am super. Oh no, listen, and that's totally how I was. And then it was. It's one of those things of, it's a bunch of like-minded people that are supporting, and it's just a place that, if it's tough, you can just sit there and vent, and they'll recommend, oh, hey, like it's even just that's what it is. That's pretty much what it is it's, you have the option to help each other out, but for the most part it's just for like, there's no way I'm ever going to create my own Discord. There's no point for the type of streaming that I do. So it makes more sense for me to be part of that community, because because they have a bot that will go off if you are a streamer. They'll just say, hey, this person's live. So I can check out new people, meet new friends, find people where it's like, oh, hey, we can do a collaboration. So, and they're good people, because we have a couple of us that, it'll be whatever time we all wake up and it's just, oh, hey, I had a Discord that I had set up at one point, and then I was using it to help out someone else, and then everyone just kind of turned toxic. So I've been like, yeah, I don't want no part in this no more. So I deleted it and haven't bothered setting one up. So it's just not worth it when I don't need to have a whole server. I'm not gonna have. It's not like it's not worth it. I'll join somebody else's server. I'll have like, okay, yeah, we can just join a group chat if we're working on a project or something. But for my sanity, I didn't need that kind of stress in my life. So I'm gonna put this needle in here. I need to go through my little box here and take out what colors I'm not actively using. What is this all connected to? See, I never like I haven't let myself get to that point where I have like that many friend groups to turn sour. I don't let myself it's going to sound horrible, but I like don't let myself have friends. It's like just keep them at arm's distance and then I won't get hurt. At least that's the theory behind it. Okay, this is all 975. So this is all 975 is the bar stool. 300 is the chair. I'm like literally organizing my strings to be like, yes, this is the color I want to take with me tomorrow because that's what I'm going to be working with. And it's like I had better friends when I was away at college than I ever did growing up, you know, in my hometown. Yeah, I mean, it's always I've gotten used to it to a degree, as horrible as that sounds. Uh, but it's just one of those. At this point, I'm slowly finding people who are not like that. So, like this whole community that I'm now a part of is probably one of the better things that has happened to me when it comes to opening up to people. Because now I'm willing to try and, you know, I'll hang out in their streams, they'll hang out in mine. So it's I'm working on figuring it out. Yeah, it's probably the hardest thing about it is like not wait is getting over that feeling of waiting for the shoe to drop. I still have bad days where everything just feels like too much. I know the theory behind it. It's the putting it into practice and keeping it in practice that's the part of it that makes it so difficult. Yep. It's remembering to stop asking me what ifs and then just going, screw it, I'm doing it for myself. as I drain the rest of my monster. Yeah, I have what you can kind of see in the background back there. I have a dry erase board in my room that I have a list of like, okay, these are my current projects. These are the things that I want to start, but I need to make sure I have a plan for them. So having it in my face constantly, it helps to a degree. Um, but it's still, it takes 21 days to make a habit, and we all got to go from there. I am going to take like 10 minutes to get up, walk around, and just stretch out because I've been sitting for the last almost 3 hours. So if y'all don't mind hanging out for a little bit, I will be back and we can continue plotting and working. But I just want to get up, walk around. Exactly. Self care break. Fill up my water bottle, shake out, and do all that stuff. So let's go here. As you can see, I'm a little flush just from talking and being like, oh my God, people. So I'll be back in a little bit. Uh, get up, go to the bathroom, stretch out, do the hokey pokey. I'll see y'all in like 10 minutes. Okay, I have returned as I try and get myself back on my chair. Okay. So I'm going to continue working on. That is the wrong side of the tail. Thank you, thank you, thank you for hanging out. We're going to continue to attempt to work on the corner connectors. Turn this back this way so y'all can see what I'm doing. Hopefully not tangling up a bunch of thread. I try. I definitely do not feel worthy of such praise, but I very much appreciate it. Yeah, listen, I am unapologetically myself, and I will deal with whatever consequences become of that. I definitely try to. It it does make it like so much more genuine, I guess would be the term that would be the appropriate thing to use. And it's like it doesn't care. I don't particularly care if I ever become like rich and famous. But I'm gonna I do what I want, but I'm always gonna give it my all. I don't handle compliments very well. Exactly. It's you may not know me when I get here, but you'll certainly remember me when I leave. I am always a blushing mess when I get compliments. I'm just like, yeah, okay, sure, thanks. No, no, I can't. That is, it doesn't help that I am so pale that it shows up like nobody's business. There are definitely times I wish I didn't because I'm like, because it like I feel the heat and I'm like, no, no, stop. I don't want to look like I'm bright red. Why are we being difficult, thread? Ugh. What do I want to raid again? Let's do mine. No, I have that. I need desert. That's what I need to raid. I need more sand than that. I don't even know what the coconut. I mean, I used the coconut once. Gotcha. Yeah, it's if I bothered to care about like sunscreen, I wouldn't have as many freckles as I do. But as it stands right now, like for the longest time, I had a permanent freckle line. I still do, sort of. You can kind of see. I burn so easily, and I'm just like, you know what? I can't be bothered anymore. I am. I am a natural ginger. However, I decided to have my midlife crisis and dye my hair, and I dye it all sorts of funky colors. Absolutely. But it's more of I can't be bothered to go out and find like SPF 100. So I just hide in my cave. And for the most part, it's like just years of okay, the sunscreen wore off at the end of the day. So it's, I'm not about to reapply it for the last like 10 minutes. But if I plan on being out in direct sunlight for a long time, I do use it. But oh, it's cloudy and overcast. I just forget. I forget that I can still get sunburned with clouds. Then again, at college, I got burned in the middle of winter. But it's fine. That's why they make aloe. No, but I am wicked. And listen, I definitely, I take my sunburn. I get it. I deal with it. I already got my one sunburn of the year. Tequila, I've never been a fan of. Rum, on the other hand, I could go for rum all day. So I hear you like rum. What is your top three brands of spiced rums? We're adults here. We can have an adult conversation about alcohol. That sounds delicious. I've never had it, but that absolutely sounds delicious. I don't know. Like, so my absolute favorite, like, dark spiced rum is Kraken. Fair enough. Fair enough. I have so like Captain Morgan is obviously like a go-to because every bar will have Captain, but Kraken is by far my favorite. It also comes in the really cool bottle. What did I do here? I somehow jumped stitches. I am in the States. No, I'm a New Yorker. I absolutely am in the States, but I apparently am not your typical New Yorker. This is on the wrong side. I need to undo all these stitches because I am not paying attention to what I am doing. That is super cool that you are Australian. The Australian accent happens like has to be one of my favorite accents. So I will say that 100%. But yeah, no, I'm a strange breed. Well, okay. Listen, if you live there and you're surrounded by it, it's not really an accent. Just like I'm sure it sounds like I have an accent because you don't hear people talk like me all the time. But isn't that always the way? You don't have to be your type. You're always going you want to be someone else's type. Listen, I've never been diagnosed with anything, but I certainly wouldn't be surprised. Sounds good. I'm gonna very carefully undo all of these stitches because I put the fin on the wrong side. So now you get to watch me reverse stitch things. What happened there? At this point, I've so I was ready to fight people at work like 20 minutes into my shift this morning. So most of the rage actually had like a place to vent to. So at the moment, it's just like, yeah, okay, I'm not paying attention. This is definitely my own fault. If I finished the whole thing, then yeah, then there would be a hell of a lot of cussing. I don't know why I said cussing. That is not what the fuck I say. I am a New Yorker, goddammit. We swear like fucking sailors. I'm a New Yorker and then I lived in Massachusetts. No, no, you're fine. You're fine. This is me not planning on actually going back to work on this part tonight, but I still have energy and wanted to keep streaming, so this is not on you at all. Nah, you're definitely fun, and I hope you come back to more streams. And the fuck? What even happened here? Well, seems I'm a good distraction for you too. I definitely try and get around to hang out in other people's streams, but it does get hard while I'm at work because I don't have my computer where I can be lurking in five different people's streams all at once. What in the fuck? What do you done now? No, that is absolutely fair. Sometimes it's like I won't be active necessarily in the chat. Like I'll have a stream up, but I'll just keep my like I'll be my phone will be over on my desk and I'll be running around trying to get somebody's attention so they can fix things or attempt to fix things, which usually means follow my instructions, stop trying to think for yourself. Because if you do, you're gonna screw it up. I would like to know how you tied yourself in a knot there, please. What is even going on here? What did you do? Huh. And the funny thing is, people keep trying to tell me I'm a nice person. I'm like, I'm really not. I'm very honest, and people don't like that. It's not even that they're surrounded by fake nice. It's that, especially, it all started when the participation trophy was, created. But like, ever since the whole, we have the no kids left behind and the whole, participation trophy where little Timmy gets a ribbon just because he showed up. Kids need to learn what it's like to actually have to be competitive and work hard for something. They'll never learn. Now that I've successfully disconnected that, I can attempt to figure out how the fuck this happened and attempt to unfuck it without stabbing myself. Whatever. Whatever. I do not care at this point. So we will go here. We want this to end up on this side. Okay. Now that we have things oriented properly, and not tying itself up. Jesus Christ. This is what happens when I try and do things the difficult way. A lot of this stuff could have just been solved if I like glued a couple of pieces of wood together. But no, I have to be fancy. Loosen that up a little bit. very carefully, not stabbing myself. Yeah, but the other little voice is saying, no, no, be honest. She needs to hear the criticism. But I am absolutely doing this exhausted. Ugh. No, no, no judgment here. Exactly. Although I have to say, I have cemented myself as like the both the angel and the devil on my conductor for my orchestra. Like he'll be looking at a part and he will absolutely hear me. And it's great because you said this in the middle of orchestra. I'm like, he's like, oh yeah. Anytime that I'm working on the bassoon part, I hear Sam's voice in my head. I'm like, okay, am I the angel or the devil? The answer to that question is yes. And I would choose Monty Python over Modern Housewives any day because there's something freeing about that level of comedy. Yeah, that's acceptable. No, no, it'd be more feel the yarn, pet the yarn, touch it. You know you want to. Not that stitch, the other one. The problem is when if the figment of your imagination when that happens in real life. Now that this is facing the correct direction. I'm gonna go here. Here. Now, speaking of voices in our heads, mine are getting louder, which clearly means it's time to sleep. So, going to pack that up. I'm going to switch over here so y'all can deal with my face. So, yeah, the plan so these are going to be the outside. The two little fins will connect together to act as, let me switch back over here. It's a little easier for me to hold it and demonstrate. those will connect together to act as the actual structure. And then I will have an extra one that comes off in both directions, this way and this way, which is what will allow the floor to slide in. So hopefully I did it all by myself. I'm a big girl. I can do it all by myself. I am sleep deprived at this point. I'm still trying to recover from working at the racetrack all weekend. Ugh. So, on that note, thank you so much to everybody who's stuck around this whole time. Let's see who's lurking in my chat. Thank you, all of you. Yes, it is. Kembrat, Cozy Clouds, Diana the Dog Groomer, Way Coolwood, Esoterical Bee. Thank all y'all for hanging out. And my next planned stream is this Friday, which is also my birthday. So I will be streaming. Might be a little later than I normally start, but I will be here. And hopefully we will have more progress on the tavern, on the set. Maybe I'll do something different for, a celebration stream. But on that note, I've been going for 3.5 hours, and I love you for that, B. You're amazing. I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.